Chapter 6. A Journey from Platform 9 and 3/4. Harry's last month with Dudley's wasn't fun. True. Dudley was now so scared of Harry he wouldn't stay in the same room, while Aunt Petunia and Uncle Vernon didn't shut Harry in his cupboard, force him to do anything, or shout at him. In fact, they didn't speak to him at all. Half terrified, half furious, they acted as though any chair in with Harry in it was empty. Although this was an improvement from many ways, it did become a bit distressing after a while. Harry kept his room when his new hour for company. He had decided to call her Hedwig, a name he found in A History of Magic. His schoolbooks were very interesting. He lay on his bed reading late into the night, Hedwig swooping in and out of the open window as she pleased. It was lucky that Aunt Petunia didn't come into hover anymore, because Hedwig kept bringing back that mice every night before he went to sleep. Harry ticked off another day on the piece of paper he was pinning to the wall, counting down to September the 1st. On the last day of August, he thought he'd better speak to his aunt and uncle about getting to King's Cross Station next day. So he went down to the living room, where they were watching Quiz Show on television. He cleared his throat to let them know he was there, and Dudley screamed and ran from the room. Uncle Vernon? Uncle Vernon grunted to show him was listening. I need to be at King's Cross tomorrow to go to Hogwarts. Uncle Vernon grunted again. Would it be alright if you gave me a lift? Grunt. Harry supposed that meant yes. Thank you. He was about to go back upstairs when Uncle Vernon actually spoke. Funny ways to get to the wizard's school by train. Magic carpets all got punctured, did they? Harry didn't say anything. Where is this school, anyway? I don't know, said Harry, realizing this for the first time. He pulled the ticket Hagrid had gave him out of his pocket. I just take a train from platform 9 and 3/4 at 11 o'clock, he read. His aunt and uncle said, Platform what? 9 and 3/4. Don't talk rubbish, said Uncle Vernon. There is no platform 9 and 3/4. It's on my ticket. Barking, said Uncle Vernon, howling mad at the lot of them. You'll see. You just wait. All right. I'll take you to King's Cross. We're going up to London tomorrow anyway. Or I wouldn't bother. Why are you going to London? Harry asked, trying to keep things friendly. Taking Dudley to hospital, growled Uncle Vernon. Get to have that ruddy tail removed before he goes to smell things. Harry woke up 5 o'clock the next morning and was too excited and nervous to go back to sleep. He got up and pulled up his jeans because he didn't want to walk into a station with his wizard's robes. He changed on the train. He checked his Hogwarts list yet again to make sure he had everything he needed. Show that Hedwig was shot safely in her cage, and then placed the room waiting for the Dursleys to get up. 2 hours later, Harry's huge heavy trunk had been loaded into Dudley's car. Aunt Petunia was talking Dudley into sitting next to Harry, and they were set off. They reached King's Cross at 10:30. Uncle Vernon dumped Harry's trunk on the trolley and wheeled it into the station for him. Harry thought This was strangely kind until Uncle Bennet stopped dead, facing the platform with a nasty grin on his face. Well, there you are, boy. Platform 9, platform 10. Your platform should be somewhere in the middle, but they didn't seem to have built it yet, do they? He was quite right. Of course, there was a big plastic number 9 over one platform and a big plastic number 10 over the one next to it. And in the middle, nothing at all. Have a good term, said Uncle Ben, with an even nastier smile. He laughed without another word. Harry turned and saw the Dursleys drive away. All three of them was laughing. Harry's mouth went rather dry. What on earth was he going to do? He was starting to get anxious and attract a lot of funny looks because of Hedwig. He'd had to ask someone. He stopped a passing guard. He didn't dare mention platform 9 3/4. The guard had ever heard of Hogwarts, and when Harry couldn't even tell what part of country it is in, he started to get annoyed, as though Harry was being stupid on purpose. Getting desperate, Harry asked for a train that left at 11 o'clock, but the guard said there wasn't one. In the end, the guard stood away, muttering about time wasters. Harry was now trying hard not to panic. According to the large cloud above the arrivals boat, he had 10 minutes left to get on the train to Hogwarts, and he had no idea how to do it. He was standing in the middle of the station with a trunk he could hardly lift, a pocket full of wizard's money, on, and a large owl Hagrid must have forgotten to tell him. Something you have to do, like tapping a third brake on the left to get into Diagon Alley. He wondered if he should get out his wand and started tapping the ticket box between platform 9 and 10. At that moment, a group of people passed just behind them, and he caught a few words of what they were saying. Packed with muggles, of course. Harry swung around. The speaker was a plump woman who was walking to 4 boys, for all with flaming red hair. Each of them was passing a trunk of like Harry's in front of him, and there had an owl. Hot humming, Harry pushed the trolley after him and them. They stopped, and so did he, just near enough to hear what they were saying. Now, what's the platform number? Said the boy's mother. 9 3/4, puffed the little girl, also red-headed, who was holding her hand. Mom, can I go? You're not old enough, Ginny. Now be quiet. All right, Percy, you go first. What looked like an oldest brother marched toward platform 9 and 10. Harry watched, careful not to blink in case he missed it. But just as the boy reached the division between the two platforms, a large crowd of tourists came swarming in front of him, and by the time the last rucksack had cleared the way, the boy had been disappeared. Fred, you next, said the plump woman. I'm not Fred, I'm George, said the boy. Honestly, call yourself out, mother. Can't you tell I'm George? Sorry, George dear. I'm joking, I'm Fred, said the boy, and off he went. His twin called after him to hurry up, and he must have done, because the second later he had gone. But how did he do it? Now the third brother was walking briskly toward the ticket barrier. He was almost there, and then, quite suddenly, he wasn't anywhere. There was nothing else for it. "Excuse me," Harry said to the plump woman. "Oh dear," she said. "First time at Hogwarts. Ron's new too." She pointed at the last, the youngest of her sons. He was tall, thin and gangling, with the freckles, big hands and a foot, and a wrong nose. "Yes," said Harry. The thing is, I don't know how to get on the platform," she said kindly, and Harry nodded. "Not to worry," she said. "All you have to do is walk straight at the barrier between platform 9 and 10. Don't stop and don't be scared you'll crash into it. That's very important. Best do it at a run if you're nervous. Go on. Go now before Ron." Um, okay," said Harry. He pushed his trolley around and stared at the barrier. It looked very solid. He started to walk toward it, people jostling him on their way to platform 9 and 10. Harry walked more quickly. He was going to smash right into the ticket box, and then he'd be in trouble. Leaning forward on his trolley, he broke into a happy run. A barrier was coming nearer and nearer. He wouldn't be able to stop. The trolley was out of control. He was foot away. He closed his eyes, ready for the crash. It didn't come. He kept on running. He opened his eyes. A scarlet stream engine was waiting next to the pa- platform, packed with people. A sign overhead said Hogwarts Express, 11 o'clock. Harry looked behind him and saw a wrought iron archway where the ticket box had been, with a word platform 9 and 3/4 on it. He had done it. Smoke from the engine diffused over the head of the chattering crowd, while cats of every color wandered here and there between their legs. Owls flew to each other in the disconsolate way over the bow of a scooping of heavy trunks. The first few carriages was already packed with students, some hanging out of the window to talk to their families, some fighting over seats. Harry pushed his trolley up and down the platform in search of an empty seat. Harry passed a round-faced boy who was saying, "Gran, I lost my toad again." "Oh, Neville," he heard the old man sigh. The a boy was when Bedrock was surrounded by a small crowd. "Give us a look, Lee. Come on." The boy lifted the lid of the box of his arm, and the people around him screeched and yelled as something inside poked out a long hairy rag. Harry passed on through the crowd until he found an empty compartment near the end of the train. He put Hedwig inside first and then started to shout and heaved his trunk toward the train door. He tried to lift up and step but could hardly raise one end up, and twice he dropped painfully on his feet. "Want a hand?" said it was one of the red-headed twins. He followed through the ticket box. "Yes, please," Harry panted. "Oi, Brad! Come on and help!" With the twins' help, Harry's trunk was at last tucked away in a corner of the compartment. "Thanks," said Harry, pushing his sweaty hair out of his eyes. "What's that?" One of the twins suddenly pointed at Harry's lightning scarf. Blimey, said the other twin. Are you? He is, said the first twin. Aren't you? He added to Harry. What? Said Harry. Harry Potter, chorused the twins. Oh, him, said Harry. I mean, yes, I am. The two boys gulped at him, and Harry felt himself going red. Then, to his relief, a voice came flooding in through the train open door. Fred, George, are you there? Coming, Ma. With a last look at Harry, the twins hopped off the train. Harry sat down next to the window, where half hidden he could watch a red-haired family on the platform and hear what they are saying. Their mother had just taken out her handkerchief. Ron, you got something on your nose. The youngest boy tried to jerk out of the way, but she grabbed him and began rubbing the end of his nose. He wiggled free. Oh, has Uncle Noni has something got his nosy? Said one of the twins. Shut up, said Ron. Where's Percy? Said their mother. He's coming now. The oldest boy came striding into sight. He had already changed into a billowing black Hogwarts robes, and Harry noticed a shiny red and gold badge on his chest with the letter P on it. Constable, wrong, mother, he said. I'm a front. The prefects have a two compartment to themselves. Oh, are you prefect, Percy? Said one of the twins, with an air of great surprise. You should have said something. We had no idea. Hang on, I think I remember him saying something about it, said the other twin. Once or twice, a minute, all summer. Oh, shut up, said Percy the prefect. How come Percy got new robes anyway? Said one of the twins. Because he's a prefect, said their mother firmly. All right, dears. Well, have a great time. Send me an owl when you get there. She kisses Percy on the cheek and he laughed. Then she turned to the twins. Now, you two. This year you behave yourselves. If I got one more owl telling me you've blown up a toilet or blown up a toilet, we are never blown up a toilet. Great idea though, thanks Mom. It's not funny. And look after Ron. Don't worry, Iguanikins is safe with us. Shut up, said Ron again. He was almost as tall as the twin already, and his nose was still pink where his mother had rubbed it. Hey, Mom, guess what? Guess who we just met on the train? Harry ran back quickly so they couldn't see him looking. You know that black-haired boy who was near us in the station? Who know who he is? Who? Harry Potter. Harry heard the little girl's voice. Oh, Mom, can I go on the train and see him, Mom? Oh, please. You've already seen him, Ginny. And the poor boy isn't something you goggle at the zoo. Is he really, Fred? How do you know? Ask them. So his scar. It's really there, like a lightning. Poor dear, no wonder he was on alone. I wondered. He was ever so polite when he asked how to get on the platform. Never mind that. Do you think he remembers what you know who looks like? Their mother suddenly became very stern. I forbid you to ask him, Fred. No, don't you dare. As though he needed reminding of that on his first day of school. All right, keep your hair on. The whistle sounded. Hurry up, their mother said, and the three boys clambered onto the train. They leaned out of the window for her to kiss them goodbye, and their younger sister began to cry. Don't, Ginny, we'll send you a lot of owl. We'll send you Hogwarts toilet seat. George, only joking, Mom. The train began to move. Harry saw the boy's mother waving at and their sister, half laughing, half crying, running to keep up with the train until it granted too much speed. Then she fell back and waved. Harry watched the girl and her mother disappear as the train rounded the corner. Houses flashed past the window. Harry felt a great leap of excitement. He didn't know what he was going to, but it had to be better than what he was leaving behind. The door of the compartment slid open and the youngest red-headed boy came in. Anyone sitting there? He asked, pointing at the seat opposite Harry. Everyone at his pool. Harry shook his head and the boy sat down. He glanced at Harry and then looked quickly out of the window, pretending he hadn't looked. Harry saw him still had a black mark on his nose. Hey, Ron! The twins were back. Listen, we're going down the middle of the train. We Jordan got a great giant tarantula down there. Right, mumbled Ron. Harry, said other twin, did you introduce ourselves? Fred and George Weasley, and this is Ron, our brother. See you later then. Bye, said Harry and Ron. The twins let the compartment door shut behind them. Are you really Harry Potter? Ron blurted out. Harry nodded. Oh, I thought it might be one of Fred and George's jokes, said Ron. Have you really got, you know? He pointed at Harry's forehead. Harry pulled back his thing to show the lightning skull. Ron stared. So that's where you know who? Yes, said Harry, but I can't remember it. Nothing, said Ron eagerly. Well, I remember a lot of green lights, but nothing else. Wow, said Ron. He sat and stared at Harry for a few more minutes. Then, as though he had suddenly realized what he was doing, he looked quickly out of the window again. Are all your family visits? asked Harry, who found Ron just as interesting as Ron found him. Yes, I think so, said Ron. I think Mom's got a second cousin who is a current, but we never talk about him. So you must know a lot of magic already. The Weasleys were clearly one of those old visiting family the pale boy in Diagon Alley had talked about. I heard you went to live with muggles, said Ron. What are they like? Horrible. Well, not all of them. My aunt and uncle and my cousins are, though. Wish I had 3 with his brothers. 5, said Ron. For some reason, he was looking gloomy. I'm the 6th in my family to go to Hogwarts. You could say I've got a lot to live up to. Bill and Charlie had already left. Bill was head boy and Charlie was captain of Quidditch. Now Percy is a prefect. Fred and George mess around a lot, but they still got really good marks. And everyone thinks they are really funny. Everyone expects me to do as well as the others. But if I do it, it's no big deal because they did it first. You never got anything new either. With 5 brothers, you got Bill's or the Rose, Charles or the Wand, and Percy's or Red. Ron reached inside his jacket and pulled out a fat gray lad, which was asleep. His name is Gabbas, and he's useless. He hardly ever wakes up. Percy got an owl from my dad for being made a prefect, but they couldn't have, I got scabbers instead. Ron's ears went pink. He seems to think he said much, because he went back to staring out the window. Harry didn't think there was anything wrong with not be, being able to afford an owl. After all, he never had any money in his life until a month ago, and he told Ron so, all about having to wear Dursley's or clothes and never getting proper birthday presents. This seems to cheer Ron up. And until Hagrid told me, I didn't know anything about being wizards or about my parents or Voldemort. Ron gasped. What? You said you know whose name? Said Ron, sounding both shocked and impressed. I had thought you of all people. I'm not trying to be brave or anything saying the name, said Harry. I just never knew you shouldn't. See what I mean? I have a lot to run, I bet, he added, voicing for the first time something had been worrying him lot lately. I bet I'm the worst in the class. You won't be. There's a lot of people who came from Muggle families, and they learn quick enough. While they had been talking, the train had carried them out of London. Now they were speed past fields full of cows and sheep. They were quite for the time watching the fields and lawns flick by. Around 12:30, there was a great chatting outside the corridor, and the smiling dumped woman slid back their doors and said, "Anything up the trolley, please?" Harry, who had any breakfast, leapt to his feet, but Ron's ears went pink, and he muttered he had brought sandwiches. Harry went out into the corridor. He had never had any money for sweets with Dudley's, and now that he got pocket rattling with gold and silver, he ready to buy as many Mars bars as he can carry. But the woman didn't have Mars bars. What she did have were party box every flavor beans, Dodo's best blowing gum, chocolate frog, pumpkin pasties, cauldron cakes, licorice wand, and a number of other strange things Harry had never seen in his life. Not wanting to miss anything, he had thought of everything and paid the woman 11 silver stickles and 9 brown nuts. Ron stared as Harry brought it all back into the compartment and tipped it on an empty seat. "Hungry, are you?" "Starving," said Harry, taking a large bite out of pumpkin pasties. Ron had gotten out a lumpy package and unwrapped it. There were 4 sandwiches in there. He pulled one of them apart and said, She always forgot I don't like corned beef." "Swap you for one of these," said Harry, holding up a pasty. "Go on. You don't want this. It's all dry," said Ron. "She hadn't got many time," he added quickly. "You know, with 5 of us." "Go on, have a pasty," said Harry, who had never had anything to share before, or indeed anyone to share it with. It was a nice feeling, sitting there with Ron eating their ways through all Harry's pasties and cakes. The sandwiches lay forgotten. "What are these?" Harry asked Ron, holding out a pack of chocolate frogs. "They're not really frogs, are they?" He was starting to feel that anything would surprise him. "No," said Ron, But see what the card is. I'm missing Griffa. What? Oh, of course you wouldn't know. Chocolate Frog have cards inside them, to collect famous wizards and witches. I got about 500. I hadn't got Griffa or Torrey. Harry unwrapped his chocolate frog and picked up the card. It shows a man's face. He wore half-moon glasses, had a round crooked nose, and floating silver hair, beard, and mustache. Underneath the picture was the name Albus Dumbledore. So this is Dumbledore, said Harry. Don't tell me you never heard of Dumbledore, said Ron. Can I have a frog? I might get Griffa. Thanks. Harry turned over his card and read. Albus Dumbledore, Cantankerous headmaster of Hogwarts. Considered of many the greatest wizards of modern times. Professor Dumbledore is particularly famous for his defeat of the Dark Wizard Grindelwald in 1945, for the discovery of 12 uses of dragon's blood, and his work on alchemy with his partner Nicholas Flamel. Professor Dumbledore enjoyed chamber music and tunpin bowling.